Hey guys, what's up? Buzz here with VaporizerWizard.com, and today I'll be doing a review on the PAX 2 by PAX Vapor. Now the PAX 2 is a solid improvement over the original PAX, and definitely a top contender in the portable vaporizer market. Now they made it smaller, lighter, more powerful, and eliminated nearly all of the cleaning problems associated with the original unit. Now the PAX 2 comes with some cool new features like the lip sensing technology, you get new temps at a broader range, and a deeper oven for more even heating and AVB. Now the oven is actually 91% the size of the original PAX, and I'll talk more about the new chamber later on in this review. Now the PAX 2 retails for $279 at the time of this video. You can follow the links below in the About section to pick one up, or get the full review with more information and photos on my website. Now I also have comparisons on my site for the PAX 2 vs Firefly, PAX 2 vs Original PAX, and the PAX 2 vs Crafty. So if you haven't narrowed down to any of those options for portable vapes, be sure to check those out. Now throughout this PAX 2 review, I'll go over the new features, I'll show you the new oven, the mouthpiece changes, and break down the new battery system. I'll do a demo session, compare it to some of the other popular vapes like the Crafty and the Mighty, and then briefly talk about the cleaning and maintenance, followed up by pros and cons, and best place to buy. Okay guys, so here's the new PAX 2. Like I mentioned earlier, the PAX 2 comes in about 25% smaller, 10% lighter, and 30% higher battery capacity than the original PAX. It's better in every way in my opinion, especially in the cleaning department. Now the streamlined design was taken a little further by making one of the two mouthpieces completely flush along the top of the unit. You can completely pass off the new PAX 2 as an MP3 player if you were to just wrap some headphones around the outside of the unit. Now the PAX 2 dropped in overall size and weight. They made it about 8 to 10 grams lighter, and the flush mouthpiece design practically cut an inch off the top of the unit. So with that said, the PAX 2 is currently my highest rated portable vaporizer in terms of portability. Now other vaporizers have better qualities like vapor taste or herb efficiency, but if you're looking for a vaporizer to easily conceal or completely palm for discretion, I think your best bet might be the PAX 2. The PAX 2 is considerably lighter than the Firefly, which weighs around 240 grams, and it's about 45 to 50 grams lighter than the Crafty, which comes in around 136 grams. As you can see here, there's not too many vapes smaller than the PAX 2. One of the newest features with the PAX 2 is the lip sensing technology. This works by ramping up heater production during draws to help maintain temps in the chamber. It also starts to lower the temperature when it doesn't sense your lips to conserve your herbs. Now this has definitely improved the efficiency of the PAX 2 over the original, and I feel like I get better flavor for longer as well. Now the original PAX was quite the herb hog, so the PAX 2 is definitely an improvement, but I still feel like it's not quite as efficient as other popular models like the Firefly, Crafty, or the Mighty. With that said, the new technology is also much better at breaking down smaller oven packs into multiple sessions. I contacted PAX Vapor to get some more details on the new heating and lip sensing technology, and here's what they had to say. We redesigned the PAX 2 to have both the lip sensing and new heating algorithm that adjusts temperature dynamically based on how you use it. We also focused the temp algorithm on the materials themselves rather than the oven temp to make sure the draw was consistent from first to last. The PAX 2 comes with accessories including a new magnetic charging dock and a micro USB charging system. You get 10 pipe cleaners, a bottle of ISO, a couple screens, and 2 interchangeable mouthpieces. And also the new design of the mouthpiece and power button means no more mouthpiece lubricant. I'm not a big fan of the raised mouthpiece because I feel like it gets pretty warm on my lips and also gives away some of the concealment factor, kind of like the original PAX mouthpiece. The flush mouthpiece design is much better in my opinion, and it helps keep the entire unit inconspicuous. It feels nicer to use as well. Both mouthpieces are easily swappable and easy to clean. The PAX 2 uses a proprietary heating element with a stainless steel oven, stainless steel vapor path, and silicone rubber mouthpieces. The new oven is deeper and the width is slightly smaller. Overall, it's 91% the size of the original PAX oven. It still uses the stainless steel screens in the bottom of the oven, which is kind of a bummer, but they do help regulate oven temp and also cut down on the cleaning needed in the vapor path. I was able to get about 0.25 grams with a regular grind and around 0.4 grams with a fine grind from my MFLB Finishing Grinder. I was able to produce the best results with the finishing grinder, but you definitely don't need to put 0.4 grams in the chamber. The new chamber does a much better job with varying pack types, and there are a couple new products on the market for partial packs. One is an adjustable stainless steel press that makes the oven size more manageable for single session users. I wrote a blog post about my recommended packing techniques and accessories, which you can check out here, and I will be making a new video soon showing all the different methods so you can try them out and see what works best for you. Make sure and subscribe below to be notified when it's released, and I will add in an annotation to this video when it's up. The PAX 2 comes with a broader temp range and now offers 4 different temp settings ranging from 360 degrees Fahrenheit to 420 degrees Fahrenheit. The original PAX had 3 temps ranging from 370 degrees to 410 degrees Fahrenheit. The upgrade in temps is a great addition to the new unit. With the higher temps you can achieve different effects, and with the lower temps you can get even better flavor. For instance, a higher temp towards the end of the night could help you sleep, whereas a lower temp in the morning could be more energetic and not quite as heavy. Of course, a lot of this depends on the strain and your tolerances. Other vapes like the Crafty and Mighty cut off at 410 degrees Fahrenheit. PAX 2 heat-up times seem to range anywhere between 40 to 70 seconds depending on herb type, pack type, temp selection, and battery life. This is about market average or slightly fast for a portable conduction style vaporizer. Other models like the Firefly will provide almost on-demand heat and have you vaping in 5 to 10 seconds if that's what you're looking for, but you also don't really get the session vape experience. Now the Firefly is meant to be used quickly and kill a bowl in 5 to 8 hits, whereas the PAX 2 is meant for 10 to 15 draws over the course of a 10 to 15 minute session. This makes the PAX 2 a great group vape, especially with how big the chamber is. Let's go ahead and jump into the battery and charging system. I found the PAX 2 to get about 80 minutes of average continuous use, which is one of the best on the market, especially in such a small size. If you needed better battery life, then I recommend the much larger Mighty, or something like the Haze with user replaceable batteries so you can charge a couple before you head out. The PAX 2 uses a micro USB charging system which allows you to charge it practically anywhere, especially now that you can pick up external battery packs. These battery packs will charge the PAX 2 multiple times from dead for under 20 bucks. This works perfect for me when I'm going skiing or hiking for the entire day. The downside to the new charging system is that when charging via USB, it takes more time to fully charge the PAX 2 from dead than the original PAX. So a little bonus tip for original PAX users, you can actually use the charging cable and block from the original PAX to charge the PAX 2. The female plug will connect to the magnetic charging dock and charge faster than with the USB option. Another downside to the new charging dock is that it doesn't have a very strong magnet. So let's say you have it in your backpack connected to a battery pack charging, the PAX can easily come off the charger. Or if you leave it sitting on your desk, it could fall over and disconnect. So the best way to combat this is to wrap a rubber band around the unit and the charger holding it in place, or charge it on a flat surface parallel to the ground. If you don't have the original PAX charging base, then just find a charging brick around the house that charges via USB. I recommend using one with a 2 or 2.1 amp output for the best results. The original PAX was really easy to use, and the PAX 2 is even easier now because of the new design of the power and temp change button. You can power on and off the device with a quick press in the center of the mouthpiece. You can also power it on with the mouthpiece remove, so you can use it with a water pipe adapter and bubbler. I tested multiple different grind types, and you can use them all, but I definitely noticed much better vapor production when I use the MFLB Finishing Grinder. Now the PAX 2 will glow purple while it's heating up, and green when the device is finished preheating. You can change the temp to any of the 4 settings by first holding down the mouthpiece button for about 2 seconds. You can then cycle through the temp settings using short presses. Once you have selected the temp setting that you want, just hold down the button again for 2 seconds and it will continue to preheat. You can also shake the device to select the temp setting and continue preheating. I recommend climbing the temp settings by starting off at temp 2 or 3 and working your way up to temp 4 towards the end of the bowl. The first few draws will be the best tasting with lighter vapor production, and as you go on through the session raising the temps, the vapor density will increase while the vapor taste will drop off after the first 2 to 3 draws. The PAX 2 will also cool down a bit after 30 seconds of no movement to preserve battery life and herbs. The PAX 2 also drops oven temp if it doesn't sense your lips on the mouthpiece for 20 seconds. Lastly, if the PAX 2 doesn't move or sense your lips for a total of 3 minutes, it will turn off the unit completely. You can shake the device at any time when it's powered on to check battery life. One light is 0 to 25%, 2 lights is 25 to 50, 3 is 50 to 75, and all 4 is 75 to 100%. Lastly, PAX Vapor released multiple versions of the PAX 2, which all include their own little library of games, modes, and some even play a faint, funky town jingle. The PAX 2 is much easier to clean than the original, and even most other portables now that they remove the power on mechanism from the vapor path. All of these problems have been fixed, and the only cleaning needed has been limited to putting a little bit of ISO on the end of a cleaning pipe and running it through the vapor path, and then also adding a little bit of ISO on a Q-tip to clean the mouthpiece and chambers. Now I have noticed that the unit performs better in general if you keep up with the maintenance. One of the things that will dirty up your PAX 2 faster is using the MFLB Finishing Grinder, so yes, you get much better results with a fine grind, but it does cause the PAX 2 to get dirtier faster. But like I said, if you regularly maintain it, just like any other portable vaporizer, it will continue to produce great results without any increased draw resistance or other downsides. So I think I've covered pretty much everything that you need to know about the PAX 2. Let's go ahead and jump into the vape session. I loaded up the PAX 2 oven with some finely ground herbs out of my MFLB Finishing Grinder, and I've loaded it pretty tightly because this will produce the densest vapor. Now you can use much less herb in the oven and still get good results, but the vapor will be less dense with the smaller load or looser pack. I have a couple different solutions for smaller single user sessions using the screen trick or the PAX pusher that I picked up from New Vape. The stainless steel press shrinks the size of the chamber so you can use fewer herbs while still having a tight pack to get the best results. So turn the unit on by pressing the mouthpiece button in the center. I've selected temp 3 and will move up to temp 4 after a few draws. The PAX 2 will glow green when it's fully preheated and you are ready to begin your session. The PAX 2 does have some draw resistance compared to the Crafty or Mighty. The best way to deal with this is to slow your draws down and basically sip from it like you would a hot coffee or tea, but for a long, slow duration. I recommend about 15 seconds. Now, one trick you can use to minimize the draw resistance a bit is to barely open one side of the oven lid on the bottom. This seems to increase airflow and decrease draw resistance a bit for me. Sessions with the PAX 2 can range from 5 minutes to 25 minutes depending on your loading styles, herb type, and grind type. It can also vary depending on how many people are in the session and if you're consistently drawing from the unit or if you're letting the unit heat back up in between draws. The PAX 2 is very easy to use and does extremely well in group settings as long as you explain to your fellow vaporants the draw techniques. I recommend finishing off a bowl on Temp 4 to get any remaining vapor. You'll notice you're at the end of a bowl when the hits become less dense and the herbs in the chamber are brown to dark brown in color. One thing I like to do with the PAX 2 is to take a couple draws from the unit after I turn it off. This will get any remaining vapor out while the unit is cooling down. This way, when I put the unit back in my pocket or backpack, it doesn't quite smell as bad if I were just to throw it in while it's still cooling down. So now that we've demoed the PAX 2, let's go over my pros and cons. So first off, the best feature of the PAX 2 is the portability and the overall size of the unit. You can easily conceal it in your pocket, and I really like the simplistic design of the new mouthpiece button and the flush design of the mouthpiece itself. You can still power on the PAX 2 using gloves while out skiing, which is something that I really liked about the original unit. Now next would be the micro USB charging system. It doesn't charge the unit quite as fast as the original, but you have more options as far as charging goes, such as with cars with a USB port and external battery packs, solar chargers, etc. Now like I mentioned earlier, you can use the old AC charging block from the original PAX to charge the new PAX faster. The PAX 2 is also really easy to use on the go, and the temps are much easier to change on this unit than the original. So you just hold down the button for 2 seconds and then short presses to select your temp and then 2 seconds to finalize it. Now I also really like the rugged design of the PAX 2. The outer shell is all metal and can handle plenty of abuse. This is why I feel like the PAX 2 is the easiest vape to use for outdoor activities like hiking, skiing, boarding, biking, or whatever crazy stuff you guys are getting into. Now the new heating system produces better vapor density than the original when loaded correctly, and last two, the PAX 2 is good for single and group scenarios. Now the first con would have to be the draw resistance. It's nowhere near the free-flowing vapor path of the Crafty and requires a bit of a sipping technique to get the best draws. Now this is really easy to pick up on, but you definitely need to break it down for your buddy that's using it for the first time. Now next con would be the charging system. Yes, I realize it's a pro, but it has some things that I don't like about it as well. So first off, like I mentioned earlier, the time to fully charge from dead is increased overall unless you have an old PAX and charging via the old charging cable. Now second, the magnet that keeps the new USB dock attached is not very strong at all. So this can create some problems if you're trying to charge it anywhere other than a flat surface. Now you can fix this by wrapping a rubber band around the unit and the charging dock. Next would be the plastic oven lid. I feel like you get much better conduction from a stainless steel lid like on the old PAX unit, but I haven't noticed any big problems maintaining temp. Now lastly, and I'm being a little picky here, the new PAX 2 doesn't come with an instruction manual. You have to go online to look up the directions, which matters very little in the scheme of things, but I'm a nerd and I like to read those things. So overall, the PAX 2 is a big improvement over the original PAX, and definitely a game changer in the portable vaporizer market. Now the new mouthpiece design eliminated mostly all the cleaning problems associated with the old unit, and I really like the upgraded temperature range. Now don't forget that the PAX 2 comes with one of the best warranties in the vape market at 10 years. They've always been awesome to deal with and quick to take care of any problems no matter what it may be. Now if you're ready to buy the PAX 2, you can click the buy links below in the about section. That link will take you to an authorized dealer and make sure that you get the 10-year warranty. Please like and subscribe below if this video helped you out. I'll be posting a lot more vaporizer reviews, comparisons, and cleaning tutorials here in the near future. So if you guys have any questions about the PAX 2 or any other vaporizer, feel free to leave a comment below or contact me on my blog, VaporizerWizard.com. Thanks for watching my PAX 2 vaporizer review, and take it easy.